are welcome to Women's World Show. Here we use the breakthrough moment and word of a successful woman to inspire and motivate you. We measure success not by the amount of money in the pocket, but by the effort we make on a daily basis to achieve our goal. We believe that every woman has a story, so share yours with us. And my name is Clara Kumberg. Joining me today is a professor in human production. He's a gynecologist and a specialist in fertility. He has been working with fertility since 1979, and he is actually one of the pioneers of IVF in Denmark, and he will be sharing with us all about fertility and IVF. Please welcome to the show, Dr. Svend Lindeberg. Thank you so much for coming. It's an honor, and I feel so honored to have you here. I need to breathe in because your presence is really powerful for me. I think it's really a privilege to have you. Thank you so much again for coming. We get all into it because I want to know. I started thinking since 1979, why fertility? At that time of the year, for me, I come from Africa, in Nigeria, you know, I think, why fertility? Why IVF at that point? What gave you that inspiration?
It was the development of new technologies, and we transferred knowledge from the animals to human beings, and there was also a need for it. At the same time, women started to look for why couldn't they conceive, and asking what is the problem here, and so there was a need for these type of things to go on. And on the other hand, there was also more needed to do this because there was more and more women wanting just 1 or 2 children, and the whole society was changing. So you had to have a possibility of having the babies you want, and not more or not less than that. And as you know, in many societies, the children is sort of the luck for a woman.
Yes. As an African woman, I can totally relate to that, because if I'm married to an African, for example, and I don't have a child at some point in time, there is question of, is he going to marry another wife, or is he going to just throw me away and move on with his life? So the pressure is always on, especially in some societies like mine. And it's not, how did you get in touch with the process, the procedure?
I did it when I was a student, and they just called me one day and said, there's somebody called Bob Edwards in UK who have made a baby. This is the 40th birthdays now for Charlie, for Brown. This first child was born, and we were just a couple of years after that, and they said, could that be so difficult? And I said, no, it could not. And then I took over there and saw that it was very difficult. And then we trained and did all this in the start, and we did the first babies in Denmark and then in Scandinavia, and since then there's been thousands. There's more than 8 million people, children born now after IVF in the whole world.
Wow!
So it's a big thing. Specifically in Denmark, it's a very high thing. I mean, 8% of all children born today in Denmark every year
is via IVF.
Via IVF or any other of these reproductive technologies.
Wow!
And that is because we actually ended up in a situations now where women are not doing what they were told to do. They are trying to postpone their fertility until the old ages. And,
because we're in pursuit of career, and then before the having of children.
Today, the biggest problems for women, that is that they have forgotten that there is a ovarian clock which is only ringing out when they get 40 and something like that. And that's a very bad thing.
Yeah, we should know that the eggs get frozen at some point. Yeah. Okay, and it's getting juicy, and I want to know more, Doctor, really, but we'll continue right after this break. You are welcome back again to Women's World Show. If you're just tuning in, here we use the breakthrough moment and word of a successful woman to inspire and motivate you. Remember, we measure success not by the amount of money in your pocket, but by the effort you make on a daily basis to achieve your goal. My guest is Dr. Svend Lindeberg, who has really been leading us into the world of fertility and IVF, and we want to know more. Doctor, please, I would like to know, let me just start by saying, I call you father to many via IVF, which my own child is one of them. And I remember walking through the hall at the clinic, and I saw those pictures pasted, that this is so personal. I saw those pictures pasted on the wall of babies. I just couldn't, the only thing I wanted is to hold my own child. And it was a very difficult moment and period, I would say. But it happened. We have Olivia, thanks to you and thanks to God. That brings me to my question. How dependent and hopeful are women when they come to you? Does it put pressure on you?
The whole problem is that if you are young, there's no diseases, but just a tube is blocked or anything like that. It's very easy.
Yeah.
The problem is coming up when this is getting more and more difficult. Bad sperm quality, bad egg quality, and things like that makes it very difficult.
Right.
And the only thing we can do as doctors are getting realistic into what it's about. I mean, a woman of your age, which is going for IVF or something like that, more than 70-80% will have a baby. That's not a problem. But advanced age, more than 40-45 years, it's very, very much lower. And there you have to sort of adjust the expectations very much, because as you said, it's a very much a desire. Any child you want is a very much a desire for you, so it's a big problem. And that's also why lots of technologies has been changed during the years. I mean, lots of women in the late 30s, they start to freeze their eggs because they know they're not going to conceive a baby before they're 45, so they do that. It's not always the best solution to that problem, but it's sort of a good savior in the whole
just
system.
In case, yes.
Yes. On the other hand, you also have to be realistic, because every time you take just one egg out, you only have 8% chance of getting a baby, so you need a lot of eggs.
Wow.
And these women cannot produce a lot of eggs, so it's a very big problem. That's also why egg donation, you look at lots of old women, that means more than 40-45 years of age.
I just saw 150.
Which gets babies. You can look at the movie stars in Hollywood and things like that. Most of these are probably due to egg donations, but they do not tell. So what happens is that women like you come up to this age and say, oh, we also want our baby on our own eggs. So everything is a very big problem. The best thing is that to give more and more information, and the best information you can give any woman in the world, that is, get your children early, because then you do not need IVF.
You know, the age, you mentioned about the age thing. Yes, a woman of my age, say when I had Olivia, when we came for the process, I was in my late 20s, and but so there is no age specification of who can go for IVF, is there?
No, yes, there is. I mean, if you're very, very young, you should not go for it. And if you're if you do not produce eggs, and this is very individualized. I mean, some women goes into menopause at 34 years of age, and some even when they're 50. So it's a very much a problem. That's why you need to go to a proper IVF clinic, fertility clinic, because they will be able to advise you. And of course, there are also women never getting a child, and that is a big problem for these people.
Have you had a situation whereby a woman tried and tried and tried several IVF and it didn't work? I'm trying to put myself in that position, because I can feel the tension when the first one doesn't work, the second one doesn't. As in, how have you had that?
Oh yes,
situation.
Women continues to a certain extent. We try to advise them, and they do not continue for many, many cycles, because if we can see this doesn't help, then we will stop.
Is there another remedy if somebody doesn't conceive?
No, you have to stop them at some point, and that's of course very difficult. I'd rather tell a woman that she has a breast cancer than telling them not to have a baby. Oh yes. It's a very, very much more traumatic problem. Yes.
So the only option might be adoption or something.
Yes, or egg donation.
Egg donation. That's also
big business in big activity in Europe now.
Right. Okay. That's also a good one, but of course every woman, you just want to feel the whole process. I think that thing that makes it very emotional and very personal because you just want to feel your body go through the process and development of baby in your own body. So it's difficult to make such decision, and I can get it. I can relate to it when I don't want to hear that kind of news. IVF, is it becoming affordable to an average woman, do you think?
We have a huge project in collaboration with, actually, it's a Belgian group who started this, William Umberlet, and also Gita Nagun in UK, and where we are actually offering very, very, very cheap but highly efficient IVF. It's called mild IVF.
Okay.
That means that you're only treating the women with tablets and you're only retrieving a couple of eggs, but it seems to be very, very efficient. And there are projects specifically in Africa now with a mild IVF where it's very, very successful, where the cost for an IVF cycle is less than 1,000 euro.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Including everything. So this is coming up. Even in Denmark, we are producing mild IVF now and proposing that to women because they want to go for more natural cycles, less eggs, much more comfortable for them. I mean, we have women now coming in the morning, having retrieved 2 or 3 eggs, and then go for work immediately after.
Nice.
And in Africa, of course, and in other countries, it's very important that to be able to go for IVF, and the cost has to be reduced, and the cost is certainly reduced by not having all these add-ons, but just taking out the eggs and putting up 1 or 2 eggs. So yes, we are reducing the price on IVF. I think the price for IVF will go down to almost nothing within a couple of years.
Yeah,
So
actually, because I want to actually ask you, so there will be a point where it will be like a normal way of conceiving. If I don't want, I can just pay for it and have. Exactly. Great.
But it's getting more and more cheap for more and more accessible for many more people.
Great, especially also in Africa. I think I like that a lot. But I want to know, does lifestyle have something to do with infertility?
Oh yes. More than half of the infertility cases is due to your lifestyle. It's if you have chlamydia in your young age, infections, if you smoke, if you are too heavy, your body mass index is too high, and this goes both for male and female partners. If you are not exercising enough, if you are not moving around using your muscle, you will decrease this. And so there's a lot of things which have an
Do you
impact.
think abortion have anything to do with infertility?
No. But the thing is that you need to live a healthy life, get the vitamins, get the sun, get the exercise, do not smoke. All these sort of things is very much needed. And specifically in this area of the world where the body mass index is going up, we get more and more obese people around us. The obesity in itself is a very, very huge factor in lowering fertility. Right.
Okay. So eating properly and keeping the body active, take the right vitamins. I get it. Thank you so much, and we will continue talking about this, but grab your coffee and come on back. You are welcome back again to Women's Watch Show. Remember, here we use the breakthrough moment of a successful woman to inspire and motivate you. Yes, it has been really very interesting episode with Dr. Sven Lindeberg, who is a professor in human production and a fertility specialist. He has really, really been giving us so much good information, and all we have to know, at least a bit of it, we have to know about IVF. Doctor, I want to ask you quickly, does the age of the father have something to do with the challenge of not having a baby?
Yeah, we know that the older the father gets, it's not like the woman that is stuck with the menopause. It comes up later, but they do have lower fertility rate by having bad sperm samples. They also produce children, maybe they have more autism and things like that, behavior abnormalities. It's not really proven yet, but there are some tendency to look at that. So
but the older a man gets, the less ineffective or what?
Yes. So my advice to young women is stick to young guys.
Are you saying that to me? Dr. Sven. We would definitely stick to young guys, but in my case, I have a man who is matured and of age and capable, but it happened that we have to go through IVF. And yeah, it's very okay, and it was not, I would say it's not because of him, I would say it's because of me. Of course, maybe the record says to you, but again, are there no situation where it just happens that the man, it just happens that they can't just have, must there be a medical definition for not being able to conceive?
No, it's a sliding slide we go through, and there are also young men who cannot conceive because they have bad sperms. And you know, you're sitting in Denmark at the moment,
Yeah.
and in Denmark this is the worst place in the world for sperm quality. And it's
Why is that?
Well, it has declined during years, and it's declining and still declining. And there are somebody saying that if we are not fast in doing something to it, we might even have no men who can conceive within 200 years and something like that. So it's a major problem. You found that in the old studies from New York and from France and from Denmark that you could see after the World War that the sperm quality declined, and in Finland it kept itself up for a long period. Now it's declining in Finland.
Okay.
I think it's something to do with pollution. It's a serious problem.
Okay.
It's a very, very serious problem.
Right.
So almost 1 in 3 males in Denmark has a bad sperm.
Wow.
So it's a very critical situation
Yes.
in Denmark. Yes.
What would you say to somebody, an African who is watching this show, maybe his wife is not able to have a baby, or they are not able to have a baby, because it's not just the man, it's not just the woman, it's also the man. So, but the pressure is already on the woman. You are not fertile. According to how it works in my own side, they put it all on the woman already. The mother-in-law is putting a pressure on her, like, why are you not giving me grandchildren? You are not good enough. So, what would you say to some families like that?
We know perfectly well the cultural pressure on these situations for the woman.
Yeah.
And I know by personally being there that there's excellent fertility clinics in Africa.
Yes.
You should go for them and get advices as soon as possible if you think there's something wrong. As you said, it might be the male, it might be the female partner.
Yeah.
And nevertheless, there's so much to be done, and it can be done. And specifically by now, the development of mild stimulation and cheaper treatments, it is accessible to many more. But the first thing to do is go to one of the fertility clinics as soon as possible when you find out you have a problem.
Yeah.
And you do not need to travel abroad for this, because in Africa now there are excellent clinics all over.
But you know, as a Nigerian, I would say most of these clinics are quite expensive. They are quite on the expensive side for now.
Yeah, but they are decreasing the prices. Specifically in Nigeria, I know them,
Right.
several of them very well.
Okay.
Yes, they are costly, but they are decreasing the prices now, and there are also more cheap things you can do, lifestyle, stimulation, having intercourses at houses and things like that. So it is possible, certainly it is.
Yeah, okay. And then the man, eventually the man should not just assume that it's the woman's fault.
More than almost up to 1/3 of the cases, or maybe up to the half of them, is actually due to the man and not the woman.
Right?
Oh yes.
Okay, now we're talking.
So you have to be careful.
Okay, and just be sure, it's good to just go to get checkups and be sure that who the fault is from, but it doesn't matter. The problem is you are together to figure out how to get past this problem and get it solved. Thank you so much, Dr. Spain. We are so grateful. I am so grateful to have you here. It's been an honor. Thank you so much for sharing this parts of your experience and your specialty with us. I appreciate it. Thank you. But before we let you go, we give you our present, which is the cup. If you go home with a cup, because it's a symbol to show that you have given a part of your specialty to this community, to inspire a woman out there to say yes, you can do it, to help a family that's actually struggling with fertility. So that's why we're giving you this present. Thank you so much, and yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. It has really been an interesting episode with Dr. Swain, and if you're a woman of a certain age, it's about time for you to know, okay, is it time for me to have a baby? Do I want to have children? What can I do to be ready when the time is there? As you heard, you can actually freeze up your eggs and yes, just take it up from there. For more information about our guests and how to contact us, please go to www.womensworkshow.com.